Hello and welcome to Seagulls Social, Season 3, Episode 7. And we are joined by the boys, Ben and Ryan. And Ryan is actually he's on mute at the moment because he's in a very busy lobby in
Tell you what, lads, if you're listening to this podcast, these boys are so bossy. It's crazy.
Bossy? He's doing a podcast from a club.
Three times. I have to mute every time I keep my mouth shut. Bossy boys, that's what I'm saying. Can you hear
the background noise?
Mate, it's a podcast. We can't do it in a fucking nightclub, right?
Yeah. But anyway, Ryan's in Toronto. Why are you in Toronto, Ryan? Tell us all.
So, on holiday. I was supposed to be on holiday. I say that. Hardly on holiday. We've been working non-stop today, to be honest with you, because of the Graham Potter news. Going up to CN Tower in a bit, so that should be good fun. Toronto's a lovely place. I'm very impressed with the place. I haven't been to Canada before, so it's really nice.
Well, I haven't been to Canada either, so I do want to hear about all your travels when you get back. As Ryan's mentioned, Graham Potter has left, and my dog's now starting to cry, which is always good.
Like all of us today.
Great start.
It's fine.
Like everyone, the whole Brighton fan base have all been very, very upset today. So, without everyone knows, Graham Potter has left for Chelsea. He's taken Billy Reid, Bjorn Hamburg, and Bruno, which we will talk about, as well as
Ben Roberts as
well. Ben Roberts, the
goalkeeping coach Ben Roberts, and assistant head of recruitment Carl McCauley, which is another one we're going to discuss as well. So some really, really key figures have left the club today, which of course is huge to us and quite frustrating. So Ben, we'll start with you first. Just talk us through from 11 a.m. yesterday, hearing about Tuchel going to now. Just talk us through.
Immediate thoughts were, when I saw the news of him being linked, I thought it's just going to be the same thing. Like, silly owners are going to overlook Potter like they always do. And then in the back of my mind, I was like, well, hold on a second. This guy's a new owner. He probably wants to make a big statement. He wants to be there for the long term and probably wants to do a long-term project and change the way Chelsea have been in the past, instead of just hiring managers to win trophy for 1 year, 2 years, and then sack. So then as the day went on, I was like, oh, this could actually happen, because that's what Potter's going to want to hear. He's going to want to hear that he's going to be given 5 years or whatever to be able to make the project work at Chelsea and properly change them and have a new generation of Chelsea players, Chelsea football, and be there for the long term. So, he's obviously said that to Graham, and Graham, I can't blame him. I'm very disappointed, but I can't blame him for taking the job.
Yeah, 100%. And Ryan?
I don't know, because I'm disappointed, and I don't want to just be really negative. I think the thing that's really gotten to me is Bruno and
Ben Roberts.
I'm sorry if there's beeping, by the way. All of a sudden, someone's decided to reverse up into the road next to us. That probably put me off. But no, that's probably the most disappointing thing, is the fact that Bruno's gone. I really, really, really didn't see that coming. And I saw that Jack actually put in the group chat saying that he was going to go, and I just did not believe him for a minute. But he actually has. I think Graham Potter, we knew it was coming, because it's obviously been in the news for a bit now. It was always going to go to a Big Four club, right? It was always going to happen.
But did you think it was going to happen when he was linked yesterday? Did you think, no, they'll just overlook him?
I
always do.
I didn't personally.
I did, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't do it.
I saw it come in, unfortunately. I just think that the Bowley thing is the amount of sort of the working relationship we've had with Chelsea in the last few months has been too obvious to not go through. I think the Bowley clearly has been tapping up Potter in the last few weeks, probably a few months actually, since the Cucurella deal. It all seems to add up now. There's no way that this has just happened in the last couple of days. This has been an ongoing process over the last couple of months, and it's clearly the case. It's a shame. He's the greatest manager this club's seen, but unfortunately the way it's happened, the timing of it is very, very, very annoying. So on that basis, I can't bring myself to look back on how he's been. I just want to move on at the moment, and that's the only thing that's in my head, is just move on. Maybe in 6 months' time I can look back, but at the moment I just want to move on to the next man, to be honest.
Of course, we are going to get onto all the managerial potential candidates that we have as a long old list. But just to answer your question, Ben, in terms of did I see it coming? As soon as it got announced, as soon as Tuchel got announced that he was sacked, I was like, straight away, Potter's going to be the number one. He's the best coach / manager in the league. outside of Pep, Klopp, the top, three managers, he is the best out there. He's proven in the Premier League. He's got us playing some incredible football. And I was like, straight away, yeah, he's going to be linked. And that was cool. I was like, no worries. But then I was a bit like, okay, I had a bit of faith. I had a bit of hope. I was like, I don't think he'll leave. I think we'll be all right, boys. And then literally I think it was about 6 hours later, I saw that the tweet from, I think, Fabrizio or someone, or Ornstein, saying he's been given permission to speak to them. And I was like, okay, cool. So then that was it. I was like, fuck's sake, here we go.
I imagine he had a clause in his contract saying, like, if the top big six club comes calling, then he's allowed. I want to talk about this, and I'm sure you're both aware of this. So there's I don't know if you guys saw, but Tony Bloom has actually said this, and he said it on multiple occasions, that if anyone gets approached, it's like same with Kukureya, Basuma, I believe, as well. Basically, anyone that wants to come and speak to our players or managers, they allow that. They actively allow it, because they say that down the line, it's just what will be will be. So yeah, what Ryan? Let's start with you. What are your thoughts on that approach? Because I want to ask you a follow-up question on this, but just initially, what's your thoughts on this approach by Tony Bloom, that he allows basically any staff member to be approached?
I think it's a good sign from Bloom, because he appreciates what we are. He realises that we're not a big club. At the end of the day, right, if you're working for whoever you're working for, if you're offered a promotion, why wouldn't you take it? I think that's the way that Bloom probably looks at it. You've got to be able to allow someone to talk to someone else. I mean, say for example, Lad Bible messaged me tomorrow and I'm still working for Brighton at the time. You're going to be like, well, I've got to talk to Lad Bible and see what's happening, because you've got to do it. And the same way as if you're at, I don't know, Man City, or Liverpool, or whoever you're at, if you're getting the next offer, the next best opportunity, you've got to do it. And ultimately, I think that Graham Potter is capable of potentially managing a Barcelona or something crazy in the future. He's one of the only English managers to be able to do it. So I can see why he would want to take that next step, but I do worry for him, his sake, it could be a little bit premature in taking this move. I just feel like he's still very young, and it's a big poison chalice in the past anyway. And they've got a big fan base, Chelsea. If you upset them, they may not be the kindest back. And he wasn't very good with taking the criticism at Brighton at times.
That's very true.
Yeah. And Ben?
What was the question?
Fuck's sake. With Tony Bloom's approach of letting staff members, it's
ballsy. It's ballsy for sure, because then it's like, it's basically him saying, look, I trust my players, that if they do want to go, they're going to go. But if he's confident enough that they're probably not going to leave, and we've seen it with Potter's turned down a few jobs now. I've heard that he did interview at Man United in the summer. Obviously didn't work out there. Maybe United just didn't get on with what they were offering. Turned down Spurs a couple of years ago when they were an absolute shambles. So it has worked in the past, and it's ballsy, but yeah, obviously in this occasion it's just really not worked out. I guess it stops you from having a player that that wants to leave but you want to keep. Obviously you don't really want that. You don't want someone that's sour in the camp, do you? You don't want a player that's being imprisoned in your club like that. So I think that doing that avoids that situation.
No, 100%. I think there's definitely pros and cons to it. Like I completely agree with the point Ryan made. It's like, if someone comes approaches you and you want to speak to them, if the club went no, you're not allowed to speak to them, I'd be like, well, what? Like, what the hell? Like, you're not giving me an opportunity to have a chat. So I definitely agree with what Ryan says on that side of things. And I think there's definitely more pros to it than cons, because ultimately, if again we've touched on it,
it's keeping your workforce happy, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's the ultimate thing. If you're restraining people and not allowing them to move on with life, then you're sort of keeping an unhappy man. I don't think that. Say if it was a club like, I don't know, an Everton or something, bigger club than us, but not necessarily higher standing, then I would get why they would say, why do you want to do that? But because it's a Chelsea, or if it was even a Liverpool, if Klopp managed to get sacked or something, I understand it, because it's an upgrade on him, and it's an offer clearly that Potter could just not refuse. I mean, he's got an unlimited transfer budget, supposedly. He's loved by this chairman, and he's obviously a big part of this next big project, and he's going to be potentially the man to, let's face it, be a revolutionary manager in Chelsea's history, which is crazy to even think about. It's a massive proposition for him, and I can't blame him.
I think the massive opportunity for Potter was to work under a chairman that he likes and that has faith in him. Because I think Potter's always said and been so open about working with Tony Bloom and how good it is to get on with the chairman and have a really good relationship with the chairman. Clearly, Todd's got that great relationship with Potter. Todd's obviously shown how much faith he has in him and how much he likes him. So I guess it's a no-brainer for him.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think as well, with regards, just the final thing on the whole, that, you know, letting people approach them. I think it's definitely a thing of, ultimately, if you want to leave, you're going to leave. So you might as well speed up the process. It allows both parties to actually then, you know, have a contingency. Like Brighton now can, well, probably since yesterday afternoon, have been looking for a replacement, which, like I said, we will get onto. But it allows them just to get on with it, and like Ryan said, just look to the future rather than sort of dwindle or on the present. And the next question I've got, and we'll start with you, Ben. What impact does this have on Brighton Hove Albion in the short term, so the immediate future, which is, let's say, this season, and then long term of not having Graham Potter at the helm?
It's quite a massive impact, isn't it? Like, I was just looking at Brett Mendoza's tweet here. So since June, we've lost a technical director, head coach, assistant head coach, first team coach, club legend, goalkeeper coach, head of recruitment, player of the season, best player, top goal scorer. It's going to have a big impact. When your manager normally comes in, they normally bring two of them.
That's scary, isn't it?
Scary. It's crazy. It's bonkers. Like, literally, Brett's words, it's bonkers. It's not something that... It's not something that's going to affect us in a positive way, that's for sure. It's going to take a long time for us to kind of rebuild. When we get another manager in, how many people is he going to bring in? I don't know if they don't normally bring in loads and loads of people, but I mean, whoever we bring in is going to have to. I think we've still got Jack Stern, who was the former Brighton keeper, wasn't he? And he had a spell in America coaching out there, so we've still got him. Looks like Crofts is going to be in charge against Bournemouth with Lallana, and was it Shannon Ruth as well? Is going to be the assistant
Shannon
coach
Ruth
for Crofts. How long those guys last in charge, I don't know. It's going to massively come down to who we get in, and also I think it's kind of a blessing in disguise that this Palace game has been called off, because it gives us even more time to prep.
It's
a bit of a blessing in disguise. And you know, there's addressing the elephant in the room. If Her Majesty passes away, there's a potential that even the games this weekend might get called off. We just never know what will happen. So it's a bit they've got time, especially with this Palace game being called off.
Yeah, no, definitely. And Ryan, what do you think the short-term and the long-term impact of Potter leaving is?
I think it's massive, to be honest. I fully back Bloom. I don't disagree with Bloom, but I do worry, as you say. Yeah, we've lost a lot of people. I think losing Bruno and losing Bear Roberts, you've lost a lot of soul, as well as the personnel, as well as the actual coaching staff themselves. You've lost a lot of soul in that club. You've lost a lot of Brighton, and that is a worry, obviously, going forward, especially in the short to long term, because short to medium term, should I say, just because you don't know how these next managers are going to come in and take this club. Because before, we could say, look, we're going to go to Bournemouth, or we're going to go to Palace, and we're going to go and we're going to dominate this game. We're going to go and play them off the park. But now, if we don't potentially have a manager for Bournemouth, if we do have a decent manager ahead of Palace, you don't know their next steps. You don't know how those players are going to react. And, you know, I've seen that Gallardo's been linked, I've seen that Pochettino's been linked, I've seen we've been linked to so many managers, but there's still no guarantee that they come in and can get the players playing like they did with Graham Potter, because at the end of the day, we had a world-class manager, and we have to have a world-class ability coach to come in and replace him, and it's a bold thing to say as a Brighton fan. Yeah, no,
100%. And with regards to that, there's been a lot of talk around this whole saga. Obviously, people have started to doubt. I've seen a few people doubting Tony Bloom and Paul Barber. They're saying, like, is there problems at the top that this has been allowed to happen? No. Let's start with you, Ben. Do you think that's fair, that comment? Like, I've seen a few people making those comments. Do you think that's fair?
No, not at all. I think it seems like they've got a really great relationship, him, Paul Barber, and Tony Bloom. Like, it looks like the best relationship you could have with the chairman and CEO at a football club. You don't really see that sort of trio of brotherhood that they've seemed to have, and well, at least Brighton show that. It might be a bit different behind the scenes, but I really, really highly doubt it. So no, it's got nothing to do with him having a falling out. Like, if anything,
no.
Tony
So
Bloom...
sorry, I don't know if I explained the question properly. In terms of their leadership, like, people are doubting their leadership now, as in the reason why Potter left and all the other people have left is because at the top, basically, the top hasn't been managed properly, and that's filtering through down. Do you think that's the case?
two factors maybe. I don't know. Graham might be disappointed Dan Ashworth left because I think Dan Ashworth was the one that really got Graham Potter into Brighton and was the big fan of Graham Potter since Dan Ashworth was at England. Maybe that could be a factor, and also then again not being backed massively in the transfer market. It's public knowledge that we went for a couple of strikers. We tried to get Julian Alvarez on loan from City as part of the Cucurella deal that fell through. Who was the other guy that we didn't get as well?
Kouame?
Which shows that we were trying to get another striker for Danny Welbeck, and we didn't do that. So maybe he's disappointed in that as well. I'm worried because it seems like Graham Potter's papered over quite a few cracks. He's that good that he's made Danny Welbeck look unbelievable, be a pinnacle of our team. Like, we laugh, but it's true.
No, it is true.
Can another manager come in and make Danny Welbeck a very, very good player?
That's what I'm saying, mate. That's the thing. I mean, you're looking at we have to have a replacement world-class manager. We have to look at someone that's got that caliber. Otherwise, you've lost a big figure. I mean, losing someone that's got the capabilities that Potter's had to play the way that we have been in the last 6 months is bold. We've been playing one at the back at the best of times. We've gone to a back four and still been okay. We've got players that can play out of position and be so versatile. We've had a team that's been so fluid for such a long period of time.
What other manager would put Alexis McAllister in that deep role? Like, what manager would think about doing that?
And because we have lost Cucurella and Basuma and Nope, etc., the list goes on seemingly the amount of players we've lost recently. We've lost a lot of quality. And I'm not saying we haven't got quality in the team, but we had a lot of sort of unity this season as opposed to quality. Whereas we don't have that out-and-out talisman now. And I don't doubt any of our players because I wholeheartedly want our players to really, really push on from this. But the impact amongst the squad, I mean, you saw Alexis McAllister's interview. You could tell he looked very, very disappointed. He looked heartbroken, to be honest. And I think that could affect them because losing a manager like him, it will be a shame. And you wouldn't be surprised even if he does go into the January window and says, look, I want to sign Moises Caicedo to Chelsea. No, I want to sign Alexis McAllister
that's the one
to
that
Chelsea.
I imagine. I can imagine the Moises Caicedo, maybe not any other. I think it's probably too late for Dunk, too late for Pascal Gross and Danny Welbeck. I made the joke, but I think Moises Caicedo would be the one.
Yeah, and also as well, Ryan, actually that brings me on quite nicely to a point, actually, you remind me, in terms of, I just want one thing from both of you, and that is, what's the biggest thing that we're going to lose from Graham Potter? Like, what we miss the most with the absence of Graham Potter? And Ryan, you go first, go on.
I think the biggest thing you're going to miss is the tactical genius and the ability to change it when we need to. So I said this earlier to Alex Goldberg. Shout out Alex, actually, legend. I said that we went through a period around January to February, and this is what I fear for Chelsea. If they have a period of January to February, they could even just sack the guy because they wouldn't take it. But if when we went through that period, we had a sort of set thing that we were doing, and we had I think we were playing a back three at a time, and that sort of went a bit stale, and it was a bit like, we need to change it up a little bit. Then we went really bold, and a random time in March, we went to Arsenal, went to Tottenham. We started playing this one at the back thing, allowed our sort of wide attacking centre backs to get forward a lot more. It then brought the best out of the midfield because it put the focus on our midfield, and that's what we've really seen a massive spike in before. And in the last 6 months, we've had this sort of midfield taking the game by the scruff of the neck for the past 6 months, and no one's been able to deal with it. The energy of Caicedo, the balance in that midfield has been too good. And that versatility to be able to say, do you know what, I'm going to go bold and change it completely and go for a back one and massive games at the Emirates at Tottenham, and to change it that quickly and to adapt to it and make it some of the best running form that we've ever had in our history. That's the sort of thing we're going to miss. I'm not saying that no one can do that. I'm not saying that he's the only manager in the world that can do that. But he's the only manager at the moment in the Premier League that's been able to do it because no one's been able to beat him with it. We've been unbeaten so much for so long. The only time we did get beaten in London was against Fulham, and we changed that. We went to a false nine, and it didn't work. So, sometimes there's sometimes where he puts the wrong subs out, the wrong things out. And, it's natural as a manager, an overthinking manager like Graham Potter is, he is going to try bold things. But his ability to change it back the game after that defeat and win 5-2, that's the sort of thing we're going to miss. To have that ability to change it and be able to come off better off every time we're going to miss that a lot.
Ben?
Yeah. And then, I guess, on the pitch, totally agree with what Ryan says, 100% facts. But then off the pitch, just the man management and the how he drills in that psychology. You know, he's such a clever guy. He really brings out the best in the players, like for their mental health and all their well-being and that sort of thing. Not just on the pitch. Like the players will miss him a lot, and I think that'll be a massive hole in the team and in the squad.
Yeah. I was going to say that for me, it's his man management. It's just the way he's able to control the changing room. He's able to control his emotions. Obviously, he's got a degree in was it human intelligence or something along those lines. I think he's got like a PhD in that. So yeah, I think as a man manager and the way I think he's just really cool as well. Like anytime he was under pressure, I remember when the apparent boos from like 100 fans. Even that 10. Interview where we saw
not
him.
Even that, yeah, literally 10
fans. Yeah. But we even saw from that interview that, you know, he did have a little bite and he did have a little bit of but for me that showed a bit of like, okay, cool, like he's got, you know, he's not just one of those managers that sort of will keep quiet and won't just, you know, just sit there and won't say anything. Like it showed me a lot.
Said at the time, like we were like, he's having too many bites at the fans, and it always says to me that he's always had this ruthlessness in him. And I remember when we signed him off Swansea, and the Swansea fans calling him a Judas, they're calling him a snake, and they were saying that he's dropped us right in it halfway through a project, he's left us, and saying that we should be guarded because it's exactly word for word, exactly the same. And fast forward 3 years, we've almost got exactly the same situation. And it feels like to me, you know, as much as Graham Potter has been understanding and has been a very emotional character, at the same time, he's almost just doing anything he can to get right to the very top, and he'll step on whoever he needs to do that. And I think that this Chelsea move has proved that. As much as I like the guy, I think that ruthlessness, you need it as a top level coach.
100%.
And he's got that, because he's got that 100%.
Yeah, no, 100%. And for me, like that's the thing. I can't begrudge Graham Potter, and I tweeted about it earlier. I can't begrudge Graham Potter. He's going to be on a massive salary. He's going to be working with a quality squad. He's going to be in the Champions League. He's going to be, basically doing what any top manager, elite manager would want to be in that position. I get it, 100%. It's just a no-brainer. However, for me, just the timing of it, that's what killed me the most. I think that's what really hurt, was just the timing of it all, and how 6 games into the season, we lose our best ever manager, and we're sitting here thinking, fuck, like what are we going to do next? Like where are the next steps? And that brings actually final, before we get onto the managers and potential links, one memory, your fondest memory under Graham Potter. Go, Ben.
Probably that 4-0 against Man United, maybe. It's just got to be that. Like they're kind of epitomised how he's taken us and how far he's taken us, and just the levels of what we've changed into. From the Chris Hughton era, from the really defensive, quite a difficult team to watch, to beating one of the most famous clubs in the world, 4-0, with Cristiano Ronaldo playing against you. I know he's a bit older now, but just, that epitomised what he's done for us, I think.
Yeah, amazing. And Ryan, your most fond... It could be a Potter moment, or it could be a team moment, basically any time under Potter's reign.
To be honest with you, then I'll just include the last 6 months. From March onwards, the best memories, the best away days, the best football I've seen played at the club. The last 6 months, since he's brought in Caicedo, since he's gone to that sort of back one, if you like, it's just been absolutely mind-blowing football. At Chelsea, he's going to shine, as long as they give him the time, as long as the fans don't get on his back. But that's got to be the thing for me, I think. Just the results in that time, the 5-2, the 4-0 against United, the results against Arsenal, the Tottenham as well. There's just been too many good memories to try and forget. But I think at the minute I do want to just forget them and move on. Right, so before I got rudely interrupted by awful Wi-Fi, so I don't know how true this is, but this guy, he has told me a fair bit, and he always seems to get stuff right. But I did see it tweeted, so I don't know how true it's going to be. Victor Pereira is apparently likely to be our new manager. I don't think that it's going to be the case, but...
is that the Corinthians guy or not?
He's Corinthians, so. Yeah.
I don't know too much about him, to be honest. But yeah, Victor Pereira.
Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of research on all the managers. He's basically... He's been at clubs for like a season tops each. He's been at Porto, Fenerbahce, really? Munich, Shanghai, Fenerbahce again, Corinthians... and his win percentage rate is not great, to be honest with you. Like in the last 3, he's Corinthians got 39%, Fenerbahce 44%, and then Shanghai, which I mean, come on, I think anyone else could do all right, 58%.
Shanghai.
So yeah, I mean, it's not the best.
That's the most random CV ever.
I know, yeah, he's got a very, very odd CV. I personally, again, I don't know too much about him, but just sort of judging from what I've seen, I don't think that'd be a very inspiring appointment.
Before we go into the managers quickly, I just want to make a point.
Yeah, sorry.
That's right. So I was had to mute you on. What's that? The reason why it's more demoralising than being upset is because we've done everything by the book. We've got a great training ground. We've brought in youth players. We've done it properly. Had a good manager. Stuck by him through the hard times. Progressed through the league. Played lovely football. And even that is just not good enough because we just get picked up by the big six. Players, manager, technical directors. You can't do it. You can't actually do it by the book anymore. You have to be bought like Newcastle have if you ever want to join the big boys. There's actually there's a ceiling, and it's just so demoralising that you can't do it anymore. Money is that powerful that it just will change everything.
The top six are insanely powerful. The power of that top six is undisputed. It's undisputed for everything that we thought.
Makes you fall out of love with the game when you realise it. When you realise it, it's just like, what more can we do? We just need to be bought by billionaires that are going to be able to buy the league like Newcastle are going to, and the other teams.
I completely agree with you. I do, and it actually does make me feel a bit sick. The fact that we can never get to, like, even if we get close and we're prodding away at the top six, no matter how close we get, we will just get we'll get outspent.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, we've had our best ever start. Like this start to the season under Potter has been absolutely unbelievable. And he's just jacked it all in for Chelsea. I mean, it's crazy.
But this is the point I'm trying to make is that then it boils down to ultimately Potter's loyalty or where his values lie. It's like, okay, cool, I can go and make X amount of money at Chelsea and fair play. Like I said, there's so many pros to going to Chelsea, but then that's ultimately down to the people involved to be actually like, right, what do I want to do? Do I want to see out this project, which I can ultimately become a club legend at Brighton? I can potentially go and get Conference League football, or even maybe Europa League football, and really cement my place as one of the best ever managers at Brighton. But then, or potentially then go to Chelsea, all goes to shit, and I become just another stopgap or just another to tick off on their CV of managers. Like, it's obviously a big risk, and he obviously backs himself, which is fair play. But to me, then it goes down to like, if there was anyone I thought would do it that would, turn down Chelsea, it would be Potter. And the fact he's not done it, I'm like, is there actually anyone out there that will?
I thought we were going to be that one team. I thought we were going to be that one team that breaks the mould and do it properly, and like work our way up and actually, challenge for Europe every single year by doing it the right way and doing it by the books and not being.
I suppose Leicester have to an extent,
that was a
but then
mad anomaly,
off.
wasn't it? That was like they surprised everyone by winning the league that year, and then they've obviously pushed them up that way.
But they've done well since then to like always get into Europe and majority of the time get into Europe, and they had quite a good trajectory. Obviously now they've fallen off a bit, and it looks like they're in a bit of trouble. Yeah. But they nearly broke the mould. So
that's because they've done it in so quickly. Like, no one thought they were going to do it that season, did they? Which is why they've now got to where they are, and it's just not going to happen, is it? Unless we get bought by billionaires, unfortunately.
But that's the thing, Ben. Like, what's the aims now? Because like, there's no way you could.
Yeah, literally. What is where are we finishing this season? Like, where would you be happy with finishing this season?
And this is why I didn't want to. I don't know, mate. To be honest, if we don't get relegated,
it's up in the air.
If we ain't got a manager, I can only judge until we get any manager. I don't know who that's going to be yet. If it's Victor Pereira, then I'm a bit concerned because I don't know much about him. It doesn't scream inspiring from what you just said, Maz. And I don't know.
Well, Ryan, it's your lucky day. I've got a big old list for us, and I've done a bit of research into each of them. So we'll do by the bookies' favourite, and then we'll do a few that have been sort of touted around Twitter and etc. etc. So top of the bookies' favourites is Kjetil Knutsen. Well, I believe I'm saying that right. Bodo Glimt in the Norwegian league. So he was actually coach of the year 3 years running, 2019, 2020, 2021. He's got a very good win rate. He's been at Bodo Glimt since 2018. He's won 106 games there out of 187 with a 56% percentage wins. And he was the first team in history to score 6 times against Jose Mourinho when they beat Roma 6-1 in 2021. Crazy. So, I mean, to me, straight away off the bat, I really like the look of him. Like, it's the same sort of mould as, playing in Scandinavia, Norway, same as Potter. Built his way up. He's been there for 4 years, which shows loyalty. Like, he ticks a lot of boxes, and he seems to be doing very well there for
and
the
he's
size
managed
of
a
the club.
team that has 2 names just like us, so it's a fit perfect.
There you go. It's a bit written in stars. Ryan, what's your initial thoughts on old Kjetil?
To be honest, well, first of all, I've seen that Brian Owens now deleted his tweet, but initially said that his coaching staff, Kettle's coaching staff, has said that he's not going to leave Bodo, or whatever it was.
Bodo Glimt.
So, yeah, Bodo Glimt. So, in that sense, I can't see it happening but Brian's deleted his tweet, which is kind of strange. Maybe he's been told to delete it by the club because, we've all had that before. But I don't know. I would have liked him, but it looks like it's not going to happen. There's no point even dreaming about it, is there? But he did look very good, and from what I did look up this morning, he looked pretty much a bit similar to Potter, to be honest. His story is very, very similar. Plays very similar.
It's Potter without the championship stint. Although I imagine what's his Sorry, I've forgotten his name. Nutsman. His kind of journey, Nutsman. His journey in the Europa League was kind of similar to Potter's. Potter beating Arsenal, but Nutsman took them to the quarterfinals of the Europa League or Conference League, beating Roma and Celtic. Like I watched all those legs, and they were so good.
He lost to Rangers, didn't he?
Yeah, they were so good. I think it might have been Rangers. I'm not too sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, they are incredible. They were incredible to watch. They played unbelievable football, and it's perfect. And reading a lot about him today, I saw he has like a former military pilot that works with him, who's like a mental health coach for the players. And it gets like mental. Yeah, they do like loads of mental sessions with him and things like that. And
it's very similar to Potter, though.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think he's a very modern manager and would be a perfect fit for us, I think.
Yeah, I really like the look of him. I would love him. But as Ryan mentioned, he's playing in Europe at the moment, so it's like, would you swap European football for Brighton? I mean, I personally would. I'm biased though, but I think that's what's keeping him at Bodo Glimt.
Well, he was linked with Norwich when obviously I think when they were getting relegated and whatever. And now he's linked with Bournemouth since Scotty Parker's gone.
Yeah, he seems like one of those. Yeah,
this is his best opportunity yet, and maybe similar to Potter, you don't want to turn down this opportunity to play for a team or manage a team like Brighton. I'd say a team like Brighton, but maybe this is his best opportunity to come to the Premier League because
we'll see.
Let's be honest, if you're joining Bournemouth, then you're just going straight back down with us.
Yeah, no, 100%. And then next one, Steve Cooper. Now, I'll start this one. I personally, I don't have anything against him. I just personally wouldn't want him. I don't know.
He's not good, but he's not. He's good, but he's not terrible.
Yeah. I think that's exactly it.
And his start to the season with Forest has just kind of made me like him a lot less. I respected him a bit more.
He signed 20.
Well, not that. Well, they've signed 24 players, but they just haven't had the best start to the Premier League. So he done well in the champ with them because I think this time last year they were like third bottom or something like that in the champ.
Oh yeah, they had a really terrible start.
Mad turnaround. Yeah. So credit to him there, but I just don't know. I think we should aim higher than Steve Cooper. I don't know how far that we can go though.
Okay, so our second interruption of the day.
Sorry.
So that's all right.
Ryan sounds.
We're in Toronto, man. We're out here at different.
We're out in Toronto, man. Big up Drake and them, man. There.
Come on.
So we're talking about Steve Cooper. Oh, Ryan. Yeah, Ryan. Thoughts on Steve Cooper? Would you want him to see? Would you want to see him at Brighton?
I wanted him when he was at Swansea, and then he went to Forest. He's done pretty good with Forest, it must be said, but Swansea fans have said to me that he's nothing like Potter, as in he's a great manager, but he's not Potter. So it's a downgrade, right? But then again, anything's a downgrade, pretty much. So that's what the problem is. So for that reason, I wouldn't mind him, but I couldn't see Forest letting him go. But I wouldn't mind if we missed out on like our top 3, he would be fine for a 4th option.
Yeah.
But that's probably how I'd see him. He's a good manager, but he's not gonna. He might get us to Europe, maybe, but I couldn't see it as likely as, say, Potter would. But, he's all right.
I agree.
And he looks drunk.
And he looks drunk all the
time.
Yeah,
and he looks permanently high.
All right, next one. This is one for the bookies, and also I've seen a lot online as well. Brendan Rodgers. So Brendan Rodgers. Again, I'll kick us off.
Now hear me. Go on. No, sorry.
Go on, Ben. Go on.
No, you go.
I personally wouldn't want it just because of what's happened recently with Leicester. I just feel like So obviously at his time in Celtic, great. He done really, really well. Won trophies, etc., etc. Then came to Leicester. He was pretty good. But then it seems like
was
the
good
tides...
though. He nearly won the league with Liverpool.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, sorry, Liverpool. Sorry, he went from Liverpool to Celtic, then Celtic to Leicester. And again, it's similar to Steve Cooper. He's obviously a much better manager than Steve Cooper, but I still have the same feelings towards him. So it's like okay, he'll do well, but how well can he actually do? How far can he actually take us? And how much can we progress under Brendan Rodgers? My opinion, I don't think that much. I don't think he can take us.
Is what's happened with Leicester, has that tainted it?
Yes,
is that the only thing that's tainted
Yeah.
it? Is that not just because of the players he's got right now? And
No,
I think it's just time's ended.
He had
there.
a great squad last season. What was the excuses then?
I mean, you look around, right? I see, because I put it on as well as like Brendan Rodgers would be underwhelming, and some Brighton fans replied to me and they were like, "Nah, he'll be good. Like he'll be good. Don't you got to trust the process." But I was thinking, how many of you guys replied to me right now saying trust the process, he'll be good? Said sacked in the morning at the Amex the other day when we beat them 5-2. Because I'd love to know, because then we'll reassess it. But he'll be all right again. Last option, but I just
arguably, if you wanted to sort of compare the squads, arguably you could say Leicester have a better team than Brighton, but Potter's got Brighton playing much, much better. Because look, they've got Jamie Vardy up top, they've got Tielemans,
as well. That's the thing.
Madison,
I don't think Rodgers will be a good fit for us. I don't at all.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No,
I think this time's just tainted. Managers get sacked. Managers have bad spells, but I don't think that ends their career. Like I think he's obviously still very good manager. I just think he's going for a really bad time at the moment.
Yeah,
Tuchel's not shit just because he's had a bad run.
Of course.
Yeah,
I
agree with that.
I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. However, I just feel like right now, as Fatboy Slim would say, we do not need Brendan Rodgers. I would want to see more of a. I want to see more of like a Knutson, for example. I would love to see that.
Yeah, Knutson looks good.
Yeah,
he looks like
right. Next one, and this was actually one I'm actually really potentially excited about, and I would actually personally really like because I've seen a few bits about him and I've done a bit of digging as well. So Ange Postecoglou, who's at Celtic.
Oh yeah, Big Ange.
Well done for saying that name first time.
Thanks.
Fair
mate.
play. Because I haven't been able to do it.
Amazing. So yeah, Ryan, we'll start with you. I really like him, but what are your thoughts on him?
On who, Ryan? Say his name.
Let's
call him Big Ange.
Ange Postecoglou.
Nice.
Do you know what? Yes, but no. Just because, and the only reason I say no is people are going to call me crazy because he had a great start at Celtic. He scored a lot of goals. My trouble is with him is you saw Steven Gerrard at Rangers. I mean, fantastic manager at Rangers by far. One of the best managers Scotland has seen, and the Rangers fans are saying he's absolutely fantastic. He's come to Villa, and he's just not done well.
Right, I'm gonna interrupt you on this one because I got this exact same thing. So I'm in this group chat for a podcast, like this other podcast thing, and there's a Villa fan in there, and he said the exact same thing as you just said. He went, "Oh, look at Gerrard. He went from winning things in the SPL to now Villa he's been shit." And I was like, okay. However, with Big Ange, he actually managed Australia, the national team. And also, and he actually won them a trophy. He was there for 4 years. Won them a trophy, the Asian Cup, which is against Iran and South Korea and all these sort of big nations, not just sort of tin pot teams. And also was obviously managed out in Japan and also managed in the A-League as well in Australia. So I feel like the difference between him and Gerrard is he's actually got a bit of a record prior to going to Celtic.
Yeah.
Whereas Gerrard obviously had no, under 21 experience. At that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
I wouldn't write him off. He's by far one of the favourites, right? I think it's him, Knutson, and obviously for me, I want Poch. Who else was up there? Yeah, we will get to it. In terms
of the bookies, there's
Nathan Jones, Russell Martin.
Yeah, Nathan Jones, Cooper, Rodgers,
Russell Martin's
Bruno Saltor's on there, but we won't talk about him.
They need to update that. Who knows?
Russell Martin, Sean Dyche, and then Felice Mazu and Gerrard.
We're finished, aren't we? Our club is done. We're actually so shit. Phil Neville's on that list as well. Wait until you say Phil Neville, and then we'll know our club's finished.
I was saying yesterday, I was like, imagine the scenes if Sean Dyche turns up to training and he's like, route one to Welbeck, just punt it up to Welbeck.
You know what? It somehow worked, didn't it? Right.
Okay. So Ange Postecoglou. So Ryan, you're a bit undecided. Ben, what do you think of Big Ange?
I really like him. Great character. The Celtic fans love him, which means he must be a lovely bloke. But he's not ready for this level, I don't think yet.
Interesting.
Be good to see how he does against the other Champions League teams. Obviously, they played against Madrid. For the first half, they were incredible actually against Madrid. Really dominated them. Thought they were going to get at least a couple goals. But yeah, I think it'll be good to see him get tested by some of the other clubs that he might be expected to get a result from, because Real Madrid is obviously a big arse. But yeah, I don't think he's ready for the Prem just yet. Like, I think before he got the Celtic job, he had to get like a specific license to be able to get.
Yes, I heard about.
Which just shows how much of a small level he was at before. It's a bit crazy that they applied for a new license so he could actually manage in the SPL and manage at the higher level. So yeah, I just don't think he's ready yet.
Yeah, look, I like him, but again, I do have my doubts, of course. Like, you know, is Scotland a good litmus test? Maybe not. So it's one of them ones. I'm not convinced on him. Let's just put it that way. Right, 100%. Next one. So this is an interesting one. Domenico Tedesco. Now I've seen his name.
Does that come from Rice?
He just left RB Leipzig, and he's been at Spartak Moscow, and he's been at Schalke as well in the past. So again, just to give you a bit of background on him, he's pretty much not fallen below a 45%, 50% win rate wherever he's been, whether that's with Leipzig or Moscow or
That's
Schalke.
sackable at Chelsea.
The Leipzig guy.
Yes, Dominic Tedesco. Any thoughts? Anyone know anything about him?
Not Scooby.
I'm pretty sure they play like similar football to us, but didn't he get sacked?
Yes, he did get sacked. Yes.
Yeah.
So again, I
don't want to have me down manager, to be honest.
No, but let's be real though. RB Leipzig. So he was in the Champions. He was with the Europa. He got to the semi-finals last season with Leipzig. Lost to Rangers in the semis. He won the DFB Pokal, which is the sort of equivalent of the FA Cup out there. And he had a poor start to the season this season, and he lost 4-1 to Shakhtar, so they sacked him. So I don't know. Again, do we judge him based on this season?
Yeah.
It's like a Tuchel, like a similar sort of vibes.
Look at it this way, right? How many times has Potter been sacked? Like I look at it as Potter. We need to set the bar really high, because I think people just look at it as we're Brighton, trust it like that. But Potter was by far top 4 managers in the league for the last 2 years. So we need to set the bar really high, and it's going to take that level of manager to get us playing how we have been, let alone improving. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I agree. However, also just a caveat, he's actually 36 years of age, which is super young.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know
he's 36, which is mad. He's actually been managing since 5 years now, so when he was 31. I'm assuming he must have just, I'm trying to
early retirement or something.
Yeah, but he might have retired because of things. But 36 years of age. That's still very early on, and maybe it's not the right time for him. Maybe he needs a few more years elsewhere, maybe just to build up, get that experience built up. But his CV is pretty impressive for a 36-year-old, to be honest with you. But yeah, we'll agree to take him off our list, Dominic Tedesco.
Go back quickly. One thing we were saying, Angie, is the SPL really good enough to be able to then come to the Prem? But I mean, we've been saying that we really like this Nutsman guy, but he's doing it in the Norwegian league.
Yeah, this is true.
Although I just feel like it's still. I know some people might say, "Well, you said that," but I still feel like the Nutsman guy will be a better fit, because let's not forget when we hired Potter. I'm pretty sure Paul Barber said he was like, even when Potter goes, we're not going to lose our philosophy. Like, this is the club philosophy. So it's just about getting the manager or the right coach to come in and continue that philosophy. So it's not like we're going to hire some Route 1 football guy or completely change it. It will still be near enough the same, but just not probably at Potter's level, changing the formations every 10 seconds and using 12 different formations and different tactics and that.
That's a good point, though. That's a good point on the leagues, to be fair. Because I think we sometimes forget that, and we like to bash the SPL as well, just for bants. Right, next one. Now this one I could not be any more disappointed with, or potentially Felice Mazu, and I just don't see it happening. He's currently at
Felice
Anderlecht.
Navidad.
Felice Mazu. He was at USG last season. He obviously done really well with them last season.
Yeah.
And he's just joined Anderlecht now. I mean, he's just joined Anderlecht. So for me, that's a big sort of no already, because why would he want to leave straight away after being in a role maybe a couple of months? And is he got the pedigree, boys? What do we think of Felice Mazu?
Go on, Ryan, you take it.
I don't know. The thing is, like, yeah, he did well at USG, but then he's at Anderlecht now. He's just signed for Anderlecht, so why would he leave straight away?
Yeah,
I don't know. That looked
exactly.
bad on him. It wouldn't look great on his CV, loyalty-wise. And we don't need another manager that's going to ditch us at the first attempt, to be honest. So I'd probably say no.
Agreed.
But then again, I don't know. I feel like the select few of who we would say yes to, it is a select few, isn't it? It really is a short list, but quite literally.
Yeah, quite literally. Yeah. All right, cool. We can all agree he can go away. And then final one. As in from there's a few others actually, but the one from from Belgium, Karel Gerardt, who's a current manager at Union SG. So
the blonde guy, the Albino.
Yeah, blonde guy. Yeah, we know why he's been linked, because obviously Tony Bloom owns USG. He's probably thinking, can we get him in on a cheap? Can we get him in straight away? So Karel Gerardt, he's literally, it's his first job in management, USG this season, which is quite worrying. But I've seen him linked, which is quite worrying, to be honest, because I don't know how I'd feel about a USG manager who's just got in the job, quite literally, and he's got no prior experience apart from being a player. That would worry me a little bit. I don't know how that would go down. So I think we can all safely assume he's not gonna. We don't want him. So so a few other names. Nathan Jones at Luton. That could be an interesting one. Obviously, ex-Brighton.
Passion merchant.
I like the idea.
Ex-Brighton as well. He's got the links already to us. What do we reckon, Ryan? I agree, to be honest. But go on, explain why.
Passion merchant. Look, he did well in his couple of games with us. Fulham and Reading, right?
I love that term.
Two amazing games we'll always remember. Always remember Fulham away. Came in. We won 2-1 that day. It was a great day. But long term, I don't know. He made that move to Stoke and quickly got fired. Wasn't very good. Came back to Luton. He's done well at Luton, to be fair. Very well at Luton. But is he a Luton man and no more? I don't know. He's got a League One at his disposal, a League One team at his disposal, and has done well with it.
Yeah.
But I still don't know. I'm not doubting him as a guy. I'm sure he's a great. He is a great guy, right? He's proven that in the past at the club, but he just doesn't. He's not going to get us to that next level, is he? Or even continue the similar wavelengths to Potter, is he?
No, 100%. And then Brian, this is one you mentioned. Pochettino. Now he's 16-1. He's behind about 12 people in the bookies list. Mauricio Pochettino, obviously we all know his time at Spurs was brilliant. Obviously he went to PSG, didn't really work out as probably as he'd hoped. Didn't really
too many egos at PSG, to be fair.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to deal with. Do you think that's a good thing then? Brighton obviously is very sort of similar to no. Let me take that back. It's got a little bit of
was very good, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Southampton's a great example, very similar to what we're like now. Do you think that could bode really well with Poch?
Yeah, I think Poch is the dream. Like, he's the one that you would want the most. I just don't see that happening.
That would be a massive statement, wouldn't it?
If we sign Poch, it's the one that is the one. It wouldn't happen just because I couldn't see him taking the wage drop.
He was managing Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe a few months ago. Now he's got Welbeck and March.
It's a big step down. Yeah. It's a big step down. We have to appreciate what we are. Right, we're Brighton. It ain't gonna happen.
We talk about egos. I don't think a manager that's done that well having an ego, I don't think he'd make the drop down. I'd be really surprised, and fair play to him if he does. But I cannot. Although I'd absolutely love it.
Would you take it for a season? If he just went right, I'll come in for one season. Would you take it, or would you want him longer?
No, I'd want.
Would I take him? No, he'd have to be more longer term, wouldn't he? Surely.
We'd need him long term.
Poch isn't gonna just come in for a year, is he?
The one good thing that is a bit of a synergy between Poch and Brighton is that he likes sort of building players that may not have as much of an ego. Look what he did with Tottenham. He did it more like building players up, building up young players. Did it at Southampton as well, building up young players. Whereas when he went to PSG, he almost had too much money and too much talent to deal with, and it was almost a bit too overwhelming for him. I do worry that it could be a similar impact on Potter at Chelsea. He's almost all of a sudden got everything he's ever asked for, and sometimes it's not always greener. And that's almost a bit like Poch, really. Big fish in a small pond, maybe, is the right term.
100%. All right, but yeah, that's so. Okay, so out of all the people we've discussed, then, if you could pick your top three shortlist, Ryan, start us off. Who's your top three?
I can't even fill a three.
all right. Just give me your top two then, or one, or whatever.
I saw that Fab said about Gallardo from River Plate. And I did a bit of research on him, and he looks like unbelievable. But apparently, it's so incredibly unlikely. And a lot of people were saying he's almost an upgrade. And I actually had some clown reply to me. So I shouldn't say clown, that's a bit harsh. But someone say, "You ever watched the River Plate game, Ryan?" Obviously not. But
you haven't? Surely everyone does.
I should probably send them in.
I've
probably seen a couple actually when Alexis played there. But other than that, no. But my whole point of it is once you do a little bit of background research on these guys, I mean, realistically, apart from Arsenal, have you ever seen an Ostersund's game? No. So, bit of background research. Gallardo does look good.
On Gallardo, he's been there for what, 8 years now? Or, sorry, 6 years. I think he's been there 8 years.
Yeah, he's been there for ages.
He's been there for a long time. So, I don't know, it's a big switch as well from Argentinian football to Premier League. Like, I don't know if he's been there for 8 years.
Might keep Alexis at the club though.
yeah. But I don't know. Will he make? I don't know, because I can always see those kind of managers. They go to like a Benfica, or do you know what I mean? They go to somewhere exotic first, build their apply their trade in Europe in Portugal or Spain or somewhere like that. Because especially from South America, the transition to straight South America to England is not the easiest. I'm assuming. So that'd be my biggest sort of red flag for Gallardo is would he even want to come to England? Do you know what I mean? He'd probably want to go to Spain, Portugal, Italy, and then sort of build his profile up there. That would be my only thing.
So my number one will be I want Nutball. I want Nutball at the Amex.
Love it. Ryan, give us your top three or just your top one. Who would you love us to
in no order, because to be honest, I'll take any of them. I think number one is Poch. He's the one. He's the dream. But it's not going to happen. But he's the dream.
Are we doing realistic or are we doing dreams? what are we doing?
Gallardo's been actually talked about. Fabrizio said it. Okay. Apparently,
we'll give you Gallardo.
Talked about.
Give it Gallardo to the end of the season.
And I'd say Knutson. It's probably Knutson. So Knutson.
Yeah.
I'd say him, but it doesn't look likely either. But I'd say that's our top three. Not that any of them are going to happen. It's probably going to be that Pereira guy that I don't know anything about.
Yeah, mate. If we get Pereira, mate, he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Why?
He's had like 13 clubs in the last 10 years. Like, it's fucking mental. Or like 10, 15 years. Right. Okay, my top three. My number one choice would be Knutson. Kjetil Knutson. My second would be Ange Postecoglou. And my third would be... who we spoken about? Let's go Bielsa. No, I'm joking, not Bielsa. Do you know what? Okay, I'm going to throw one out here. This is really random, and it's never going to happen because they're doing really well. But Thomas Frank, I wouldn't mind having Thomas Frank. You know,
Tuchel.
Can I have Tuchel as well? No, but Thomas Frank. I know it's not realistic, but because I don't see him leaving Brentford, even though we're
he's untouchable at Brentford, isn't he?
Yeah, I just don't think I can never see it. But I wouldn't mind Thomas Frank at Brighton.
Yeah.
You know? He's playing some good football with them at the moment. But yeah, so my final third one, I'll just go with, just for banter, Pochettino, just for bants. Why not?
Maurizio Pochettino.
Tried being happy. I've tried being happy this whole podcast, but it's just hit me of how finished we are. Like reading those names.
Finished.
If we, from an outside perspective, we've just gone. Yeah, all of us have said our number one is a bloke that manages Bodo Glimt in the Norwegian league.
But Ben, you said that. People probably said that about Graham Potter when he first joined Swansea.
Sure, but we struck gold with him. Like it's very rare that will happen again. But I'm just saying, why
can't it happen again?
This is how in a bad situation we are right now. We're all saying yes, we want a guy called Nutsman to take over.
Okay, Ben. One thing I will ask you though. Okay. One thing I'll ask you is. So we've obviously seen a lot go to shit in the last sort of 3 to 4 months in terms of people leaving, really influential people. So we've seen
12 hours.
Yeah, the last 12 hours. Yeah, rather than 12 months, the last 12 hours. No, so we've seen obviously Ashworth leave. We've seen Potter leave. We've seen a lot of people, influential players, Kukurea, Basuma. A lot of people on the pitch as well. And we've come back from it. We're fourth in the league. So why can't we do it again? That's my question.
We can.
Okay.
We can.
So
and I trust that.
Why are you so negative?
But, no, but we just got it is because it's just been a really, really tough 24 hours.
It has.
It has been
I agree. I did want to cry.
But it's just the fact that we've got looking at the list of managers linked. Where we are in the league. We're fourth in the league. I know it's only 6 games in the season. You just think there'll be a bit more promise than what we've got. But then again, what manager is looking at Brighton, licking their lips? You've got. And again, I say it, we've got Danny Welbeck up front and a bloke that we got from a German team in the German league as the 2 strikers. And if you're not a manager with confidence
Belgian
that can...
league?
Belgium.
What did I say, sir?
Belgian. You said German.
Oh, sorry, Belgian league, yeah. What manager's going to look at that and go, yes, that's a bit of me. I want Danny Welbeck up front. I want Pascal Gross.
Yeah, but Ben...
I know they've been unbelievable,
you're going off the wrong way.
I don't know. I don't think the manager's going to lick their lips because we've got to wait till January until they're going to actually sign a player.
That's the trouble. It's happened at the wrong time.
Yeah,
that's the only bit of bitterness I have towards Potter is the timing. Because if this happened literally 2 weeks ago, it would be more acceptable.
100%.
And it's just the day it's fallen on is just wrong. It's really wrong. That's the problem, and that's going to be the struggle. But I don't think, Ben, I think you're going on the wrong place, mate, because I think that to go down and say, everything's going to be bad, we're finished, and, it's not going to happen. We are going to be okay.
I don't think we're going to get relegated. I don't. I think we'll be all right. It's just...
Yeah,
it's
I get your frustrations though, Ben. I do get
we've
your
still got
frustrations.
Bloom Bar, but I think that'll be a pull for some managers. But I'm just trying to think of what the pull is at Brighton. I mean, I guess having a really, really good chairman that backs you and loves the football club, and they're not just a bloke behind the scenes that throws money in it.
Does he?
That's what I get.
Okay, I think that might have been one of Potter's frustrations. Is that
he doesn't back them in the money, but he backs them in loyalty. Like we
100%.
said, we went 14 games without a win, then we lost 6 on the bounce, and both those times we stuck by him, and so did Bloom. Bloom could have pulled the rug and sacked him on the spot, but he didn't. Yeah. It's kind of that. So it's
I know that's annoying.
It's a loyal chairman that you're going to get.
Yeah,
you're going to work for a loyal chairman. What else would you're going to work in a lovely city? What else? What's the pull?
Look back on our 2021 podcast, all the way from about December 2020 all the way till March 2021, when Potter had that really tough period, and we backed him the whole way through.
Yeah,
and he's left us for Chelsea after the transfer window shut, and now we've got egg on our faces, looking like idiots.
Hope Chelsea get relegated, mate.
Mate, that's going to be a tasty one when they come to the Amex or we go to the bridge. Bloody hell!
Yeah, it's going to be mental. And also Bruno as well. Like Bruno,
become a diver.
I didn't like that. Potter, cool, calm. But Bruno,
it sits wrong, doesn't it?
Yeah, Bruno, wrong. Mate. Just sorry.
I just can't believe Billy Reid is going to be the assistant coach at Chelsea Football Club. Champions League. That's class. They won the Champions League 2 seasons ago.
Dreams do come true, kids. Keep working
Billy
hard.
Billy Reid. I saw him at the cafe in Hove on the Brighton Marathon day. He was sat outside having a full English. That bloke, that guy. I love him to bits. It's just funny that he's going to be sitting in the Chelsea dugout.
We could go on about this all day, and I'm sure we easily could. And it's been a very frustrating and turbulent 12 hours since Tuchel got sacked and Potter's left. But yeah, we're here. We'll obviously.
Mate, I'm 5 hours behind, and I looked at it this morning. The first thing as I did, as I woke up, and I saw that people were tweeting that Potter was gone. I was like, oh my god! And I was about 7:30 this morning. Crazy.
Yeah. It's so funny, when there's the videos of him coming back to the training ground. It's like, he's come back, he's not leaving. Yeah. And everyone's like, no, he's just saying goodbye to the players and staff guys. It's like,
yeah, that was so funny. Right, boys, listen, it's been a weird pod. Obviously, I think this is the first official sacking podcast we've done in terms of.
Yeah, and do you know what? This is the 100th episode. This is our 100th episode, and it's talking about Potter being sacked. Sorry, he's not sacked, leaving us.
Sorry, yeah. Classic. Well, listen, look, as per usual, thank you so much, everyone, tuning in. Hit that please hit that like and comment button and subscribe button, because we really need it right now. We really need it right now.
And if you send me any thing on Twitter, I am going to block you without hesitation because I can't be done. I can't be done with it today. Look at
100%. And then comments down below. Let's go this week. Let's go. Thanks, Potter.
R.I.P. Queenie.
No, let's do. Thanks for all the memories, Potter.
No,
Thanks for all the memories, Potter. Let's go with that. Because look, let's be real. Like, as much as it hurt, he's been a fantastic manager. Let's just, he has been incredible for us. So let's give him credit where credit's due. So thank you, Potter. Put that in the comments. And then cool. Ryan, enjoy Toronto, and we'll see you when you're back.
No, but genuinely, whilst recording this, I don't know if people will know, but we literally, like 7 minutes ago, it was tweeted that the Queen passed away. So that's the day. This is the time that we're actually filming. It's official now.
Rest in peace, Queen.
Rest in
peace, Queen.
Yeah.
What a servant to the country.
Right. Okay, cool, lads.
On that note,
Peace
what
out,
a weird
What a weird day.
100 episodes though. That's
What
class.
a weird day.
Strange.
8th
day.
of September 2022. I'm going to remember this day for a while.
Yeah,
Not for good
bloody
reasons.
Yeah.
And I remember where I was when all this stuff happened as well.
Yeah, Toronto.
Views from
CN
six.
Tower. Right, peace, boys.
Peace.